Mr. Chairman, go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Committee of Adjustment for the City of Richmond Hill. I would ask that we start this evening's meeting with the reading of the preamble, please.
Tonight's Committee of Adjustment meeting is hereby held as an electronic meeting in light of the current COVID-19 emergency. The COVID-19 emergency is the emergency declared by the Province of Ontario pursuant to Order in Council 518-2020, Ontario Regulation 5020 on March 17th, 2020, and by the City of Richmond Hill on March 20th, 2020, under the provisions of Section 701 and Section 4-1 of the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act. The Committee of Adjustment is authorized to hold this meeting electronically as a tribunal under the Statutory Powers and Procedures Act, in accordance with the Hearings and Tribunal Proceedings Temporary Measures Act. Due to efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19 and to protect all individuals, city facilities are not presently open to the public to attend Committee of Adjustment meetings. The Committee of Adjustment for the City of Richmond Hill has been appointed by Council to consider applications for minor variance and consent in accordance with the Planning Act. The committee's decision may be appealed to the local planning appeal tribunal. All appeals and associated fees must be filed directly with the Secretary Treasurer in accordance with the Planning Act. To be notified of a local planning appeal tribunal hearing, you must request a copy of the committee's notice in writing. Written comments, the public may submit written correspondence regarding agenda matters by email to committeeofadjustment@richmondhill.ca. All written correspondence received by 4:30 p.m. today has been provided to the committee members electronically. Electronic delegations. Delegates are reminded to please mute your microphone and turn off video until it is your turn to speak. Please make sure your microphone is not muted when you begin speaking. Every registered delegation will be provided 5 minutes to speak. The clerk will announce when you have 1 minute left and when your time is up. If members do not have questions or after all questions have been asked, your delegation is over. Please sign off of Zoom or hang up the phone once the committee has made a decision on your application. You can watch the rest of the meeting on our live stream. The clerk may remove any delegate who does not sign off of Zoom.
Thank you. Do we have any conflicts of interest this evening, gentlemen? Yes, Dean.
Was not present for items A and B on the agenda and will not be present for that the review of those items.
Thank you. And do we have any requests for adjournment or withdrawals?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do not.
And before I start, I should introduce our group. We have our Secretary Treasurer is Mrs. Jaime Hope. Our Assistant Secretary Treasurer is Ms. Amanda Dunn. Sorry, Andrea Clement. And assisting us this evening from our Planning Department is Ms. Amanda Dunn. Okay, I would ask that we start with items A and B, applications B025/20 and B026/20 at Briar Hill Boulevard.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Murray Evans. I'm here on behalf of these two consent applications. And as the committee may recall or have some familiarity with this, these matters were before you 3 weeks ago, and the committee saw fit to approve these applications. And unfortunately, there was an error in the circulation to the community. So we're back before you. I don't believe there's any new information to be made available to the committee or to anyone listening. My position is, or my comments are the same, that as you are probably well aware that this has gone through a council approval process to enact a zoning to allow it to happen. And we are virtually finished going through a site plan control process. So I will ask that the committee again approve it once more with the conditions that are attached to the staff report. If you have any questions, I'd be pleased to answer them.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address these applications at Briar Hill Boulevard?
Here, Mr. Chair, there is none.
And do we have any additional comments from planning?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no further comments.
Gentlemen, comments, questions, concerns? In that case, I will entertain a motion. Carlo, Mr. Duretzi.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I would move that application B025/20 and B026/20 at 0 Briar Hill Boulevard be approved, subject to the terms and conditions in the city's staff reports.
Moved by member Duretzi, seconded by member Gandhi. All in favor? I see 4 hands. Approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Our next application, 2 applications, application B013/19 and A003/20 at 17 Garden Avenue. Do we have any additional correspondence on these applications?
Here, Mr. Chair, we do not.
Thank you. And do we have our presenter?
Mr. Chairman, can you see me and hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Ellen Peffany, and I'm the solicitor for Jinjiao Capital Management, Inc., the applicant with respect to these applications B1319 and B00320. An application for a validation certificate under Section 57 of the Planning Act with respect to a mortgage that contravened the Planning Act, and a companion variance application for 3 variances. Lot frontage to reduce the lot frontage from the required 18.29 meters to 16.14 meters, to reduce the minimum side yard setback with respect to an accessory structure from 0.60 meters to 0.49 meters, and to reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 0.60 meters to 0.14 meters. All the variances are to recognize the existing lot fabric of 17 Garden Avenue and the existing setbacks at this property. The facts that give rise to the application are clearly and succinctly set out in the staff report, and I don't intend to repeat them unless the committee would like me to do so. I have reviewed the staff reports and the circulation comments from the various agencies, as well as the proposed conditions for both applications. And I can advise the committee that I concur both in the conclusions of staff with respect to the applications being supportable both under Section 57 of the Planning Act and Section 45 of the Planning Act, and all the conditions proposed are acceptable.
Thank you. Does anyone in the audience wish to address these applications at 17 Garden Avenue?
Here, Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you. And do we have any additional comments from planning?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no further comments.
Thank you. Gentlemen, any comments, questions, concerns? I see none. I will entertain a motion, please.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept item C, consent application B013-19 at 17 Garden Avenue, and item D, variance application A003/20 at 17 Garden Avenue, subject to the conditions in the staff reports.
Moved by member Gossi, seconded by member Master. All in favor? I see 5 hands. It's approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Our next application is application B029/20 at 15 Laurier Avenue. Do we have any additional correspondence on this application?
Mr. Chair, we do not.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. My name is Eleni and I'm from Evans Planning, acting on behalf of the property owner for 15 Laurier Avenue. The consent to sever application before you is for a property located northeast of King Road and the Bathurst Street intersection. The intention is to sever the property as there is one semi-detached dwelling currently under construction on the subject property. In 2018, council approved a rezoning application on the property to allow for a semi-detached dwelling, and the owner is moving forward with the construction of this dwelling. To continue with this process, we have applied to the Committee of Adjustment to sever the land into 2 separate conveyable lots. The conditions have been read and there are no concerns. I'll be happy to answer any questions there may be.
Thank you. Does anyone in the audience wish to address this application at 15 Laurier Avenue?
Hey, Mr. Chair, there are none.
And do we have any comments or concerns from our planning department?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no further comments.
Gentlemen, comments, concerns, questions? I see none. I will entertain a motion. Member Gandhi.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I move that consent application B029/20 at 15 Laurier Avenue be approved, subject to the terms and conditions laid out in the city staff report.
Moved by member Gandhi, seconded by member Master. All in favor? Approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next application is application B030/20 at 116 Lucas Street. Do we have any additional correspondence on this application?
Hey, Mr. Chair, we do not.
Thank you. And our presenter. Deb Alexander. I see a phone here, but it looks like the microphone is off. There we go.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry about that. Hi. Good evening, members of the committee, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Deb Alexander. I'm with Alexander Planning, and I represent Luca Tomanelli, who is the owner of the property at 116 Lucas Street, subject to this application. A bit of history for you. This property has been through a zoning bylaw amendment and a site plan approval to permit the development of 2 semi-detached units. The site-specific bylaw was approved by council in June of last year, and it allows for minimum lot frontages of 7.7 meters. The site plan agreement has also been registered, and the foundations for the units are in place. So we're now before the committee to request permission to sever the parcels into separately conveyable lots. Each of the proposed lots will meet the requirements of that site-specific zoning bylaw. We have reviewed the staff report. We agree with the recommendations and the conditions that have been requested. I believe the proposed consent is appropriate for approval by the committee at this time, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions which you might have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or do we have any anyone in the audience who wishes to address this application at 116 Lucas Street?
Hey, Mr. Chair, there are none.
And do we have any further comments from planning?
You, Mr. Chair, no further comments.
Thank you. Gentlemen, any comments, concerns, questions? I see none. I'll entertain a motion. Member Master.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I move that consent application B030/20, located at 116 Lucas Street, be approved with all the conditions contained therein.
Moved by member Master, seconded by member Duretzi. All in favor? I see 5 hands. It's approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our next application is application A015/20 at 4 Royal Gala Crescent. Do we have any additional correspondence on this application?
Hey, Mr. Chair, we have a letter of objection from 20 Royal Gala Crescent. We have a letter of objection from 30 Royal Gala Crescent, a letter of objection from 2 Royal Gala Crescent, a letter of objection from 33 Golden Oak Avenue. We have communication between the owners of 18 Royal Gala Crescent and the agent, and as well the owners of 18 Royal Gala Crescent have an objection to this application. And we have also received 4 letters of support from 3 Royal Gala, 5 Royal Gala, 9 Royal Gala, and 1 Royal Gala Crescent.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. I'm Kyle Kadra from KBK Architects. And I just want to give you a very quick history of this application. We have been before you in June, and the planning staff and city staff were generally in support of the application. We had an objection from 18 Royal Gala at that time, and therefore a deferral was recommended, and we deferred the application to be heard again today. The purpose of the deferral was to slightly increase the side yard setback for the side deck to 0.9 meters. Let me just make sure if I'm right about that. I can confirm that shortly, which we did, of course. And we had some discussions with 18 Royal Gala throughout the past few days. I'm hoping that Mr. Frank, the owner of 18 Royal Gala, is joining us today, because my understanding is that they are okay with the application. And other than that, we read a staff report for this application again, and we are in agreement with everything. Everything seems to be in support of the application. The purpose is to legalize existing structures that have been in place for over 7 years, and we're hoping to get relief to legalize it and just to be able to submit for a building permit application to allow the building department to review the application and ensure compliance with the building code. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any members of the audience that wish to address this application at 4 Royal Gala Crescent?
Hey, Mr. Chair, yes, we have the owner of 18 Royal Gala Crescent present.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Hello, Mr. Chair, members of committee.
Good evening.
My name is Frank. This is I'm the homeowner of 18 Royal Gala Crescent. I joined this meeting back in June, and in the past few days, we did have a few interactions and conversations with the applicant. So I just have a few things that I want to confirm with the committee, and then we should be all good. So just wanted to reiterate that last time I did have some concerns, because I think as taxpayers and as residents in this neighborhood, we are doing everything we can to make our neighbor peaceful, fair, and respect all the bylaw standards. And we do expect the same with our other neighbors as well. So that's why I was having concerns with the application. But there's some background history here that I just learned last night from the owner of the number 4 Royal Gala Crescent. That was and told us that there was they were required by the city to legalize these existing structures, which was built 7 years ago without a permit. Otherwise, it might be facing potential lawsuits, or may ended up demolishing them. And the owners told us that they couldn't get contact with the original contractor, which built those structures 7 years ago. It was they were also kind of victims here in a sense. So this was actually the new information to myself, made available to myself yesterday from last night actually. So I just wanted to confirm with Mr. Kadra, through you, Mr. Chair, if this is the case.
Are you asking a question of Mr. Kadra?
Yes. It is.
Kadra, you can go ahead and respond.
Through you, Mr. Chair, this is my understanding of what happened as well. Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So in that case, I think I can understand that the owners of 4 Royal Gardens have, already invested and put their money into these existing structures 7 years ago. So given the information provided by the homeowners to me yesterday, and we thought about that, and I think we're actually okay with the with this application only if the submitted sketch is tied to this application, and it only applies to the existing structures as of today. What we didn't want to see is that in a situation where the owners obtain the approval of variances today, well, the real purpose is to build something new or something else. So, so as I said at the beginning, I think everyone in the community actually should respect and follow the bylaws. But considering all these, I wanted to confirm with the committee through you, Mr. Chair, on the record that if this condition is added, that these variances, if approved, are only applying to the existing structures as of today. And in the future, if they want to build something else or something different, they have to go through new applications, new permits. If that condition is confirmed with the application, I think I'm okay with it. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie, before I go on and ask if there's any more comments from the audience, is this condition something that is a viable condition for us to consider?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the conditions are actually a standard condition in our notice of decisions. The sketch has to be substantially in accordance with what is tied to the notice of decision.
And this is something that we're approving solely on an existing condition at this particular location, and not necessarily something that's a blanket approval for the neighborhood?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to address this application at 4 Royal Gala Crescent?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the resident of 30 Royal Gala Crescent.
I see a phone here on our Zoom, but looks like the microphone is off, or the phone is off. Or Elizabeth Ho? Can we get some technical assistance here? We're still waiting for Elizabeth Ho.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I think that she's on mute.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
To you, Mr. Chair, we are trying to ask Elizabeth to unmute. So just give us a moment.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Hi.
I am the owner of 30 Royal Gala Crescent. I oppose this plan because he already really big in the using the everything in the backyard already. I'm just worried about the drainage. Will it affect me? So that's why I oppose.
You're worried about the
Drainage.
drainage?
Because he built so big backyard already. When he moved in, because I am the first owner, so I know that when he moved in before, he didn't apply anything, and then make a big deck and use and build all the structure that is not belongs to the property already.
Okay, this is the first I'm hearing of a drainage problem in the area.
Yeah, because we only have 2 drainage on the backyard. So because the backyard is not really flat, it's slightly, halfway to my house. Hers is above the ground more. So I just worry about that. I don't know what he wants to build, but if more bigger, I don't like it because our houses are all standard. He has the same house as my design too.
To the best of my knowledge, the applicant is not planning on building anything new. He's planning on getting approval for what is there today. And he needs to come to us to get the first part of that approval, and then he needs to go to the building department for the second part of that approval. But if Mr. Kadra can confirm, you aren't planning on building anything new, correct?
That is correct, Mr. Chair. All the structures are existing since 7 years. So if nobody had any drainage problems in the past 7 years, there will be no impact.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because we don't know what he wants to build, or he didn't mention it's existing because he used up all the existing. Because I just noticed the setback, so it's expanding. That's why I'm just worried. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else in the audience wish to address this application at 4 Royal Gala Crescent?
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you. Any further comments from our planning department?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no further comments.
And gentlemen, any comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Duretzi.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I just have one question for the agent for the applicant. Is there a structure in the southeast corner of this lot? I believe the owner at 20 had put in a photograph, and it shows a large rooftop in the back of his property positioned at the southeast corner of this lot. Is it there, or has it been removed? Is there a structure in the southeast corner?
If I may answer through you, Mr. Chair, my understanding is that there is a shed there, and if this is not complying with the zoning bylaw, it will be removed. We are not planning to get variance or approval for this structure through this application.
Okay, so your site plan, drawing number A0.1, doesn't show that structure, nor does the staff report comment on it or its removal. So I'm just wondering if we should not be including some sort of statement that addresses that. Otherwise, you may potentially need other variances to recognize that existing structure as well. And it sounded like that was the rooftop and the hard surface that some of the neighbors were concerned about that was generating more runoff.
If I may answer through you, Mr. Chair, in all honesty, I don't know whether this structure has been removed or not, and it is not something that our client requested us to get permissions for. So as long as the committee is comfortable with tying the submitted plans with the decision, we are comfortable with that, and we feel okay without that structure being shown.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure where we're going with this, Mr. Duretzi, but it seems to me that this has come to us because someone has recognized a deficiency or a problem with the existing zoning, the side yard setbacks for the deck. I'm going to make the grand assumption that if there were other problems on this property, that would have been brought to the attention of us as well. If someone is bringing the attention to the attention of the homeowner that there could be a problem with the shed, well, then that sounds to me like something for a further application to the Committee of Adjustment. If the shed does not meet the proper setback requirements or size requirements or building structure, whatever it is, it might be.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the owner at number 20 had submitted a letter, and there's a photograph there, and it shows a rooftop surface. So they've brought it to our attention. So I'm just uncertain as to why it wasn't picked up on the architect's plan. It's a little deceiving. This is not an accurate drawing, and we're attaching it to a variance, and it's inaccurate. And someone's brought that to our attention. So I think it needs to be either shown and with a notation that identifies that it will be removed, or it needs to be addressed.
If I may answer through you, Mr. Chair, when we omit something from the site plan, that means it's not part of the application. And as you're aware, the building department will conduct several inspections for this application once the permit is issued. And if they find that any structures are built without permits, they would provide notice or option to apply for permits to legalize those structures. So, and I also want to point out something. A lot of neighbors didn't understand why we were showing these structures as new structures, although they've been existing for 7 years. And from the building department's perspective, they are not considered existing, and they considered them as new structures because they have never been permitted, although they are structurally there, like you can see them, but they are not legal. Therefore, we show them as new. And therefore, the shed on the bottom corner, which is the southeast corner, if existing, during inspection, I will make sure that my client understands that it has to be removed. And this is something that the building department will also ensure for sure.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'm satisfied that the building department will have another look at this, and if it comes up, then it'll get addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions, or concerns, gentlemen?
I just had a general, for you, Mr. Chair, I just had a general comment. This is an excellent case in where communication between the applicant and the resident has shown to be fruitful and reconciled some disagreements. And the choice to defer the application, I think, was the right one. So I just want to applaud the applicants and the residents for having an opportunity to discuss it with each other. And I think that was that's definitely the right way to have gone. So kudos to everybody.
An excellent point. Thank you very much. Any further comments? I will entertain a motion. Member Duretzi.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I would move that minor variance application A015/20 at 4 Royal Gala Crescent be approved, subject to the terms and conditions in the city's staff report.
Moved by Member Duretzi, seconded by Member Gossi. All in favor?
Thank you very much.
5 hands. It's approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Our next application is application A039/20 at 32 Moray Avenue. Do we have any additional correspondence on this application?
Mr. Chair, we have a letter of objection from 643 North Lake Road, and we have a letter of objection from 62 Fergus Avenue.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Your microphone is off. And you're clear to present. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name correct. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Joe Bataglia. He's the one that will be talking on behalf of the owner.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
He's just unmute, Joe.
Unmute. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Yes, I am Joe Bataglia, the architect for these two, this one and the other one, new houses. I really don't have much more to say other than what has already been stated on the recommendations of planning. I agree with the comments, and I hope that we can get this approved. So if there are any questions, I'm here.
I just have a clarification question. Are we dealing with two applications here for 32 and for 28? A04020 and A03920?
Yes, I guess we're doing one at a time, but yes, yes.
Okay, very good. Well, then we'll do one at a time. Although I suspect the comments that we're going to get are probably in relation to both buildings. It seems to me that they're similarly being built. Is that correct? Same structure?
Similar structures, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone in the audience wish to address this application or these applications at 32 and 28 Moray Avenue?
Through you, Mr. Chair, just one moment, please.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have no other delegations.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Do we have any comments from our planning department?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no further comments.
And do we have any comments, concerns, questions from our members? I see none. In that case, I'll entertain a motion for both applications. Member Master.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I move that minor variance applications A03920 and A04020 located at 32 Moray Avenue and 28 Moray Avenue both be approved with conditions contained therein.
Moved by Member Master, seconded by Member Retzi. All in favor? I see 5 hands. It's approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next application is application A042/20 at 115 Ruggles Avenue. Do we have any further correspondence on this application?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have a letter of objection from 119 Ruggles Avenue.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, committee members. My name is Victor Gidberg. I'm an architect and representing the owner of the house. Application in front of you to build a new 2-story residential building with integral garage. And we're seeking approval of three variances. One variance is for increase lot coverage from 30% to 33.35%, and a small reduction in inside yard setbacks from 1.8 meters to 1.52 meters, from 6 feet to 5 feet. So basically, this application, this project was reviewed multiple times through the site plan approval process, and we know the comments from various departments. So we basically It was discussed many times on different levels and different departments. So basically that's what today in front of you. Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, I would be more than glad to answer.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience wish to address this application at 115 Ruggles Avenue?
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you. Any further comments from our planning department?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no further comments.
And gentlemen, comments, questions, concerns? I see none. In that case, I'll entertain a motion. Member Gandhi.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I move that minor variance application A042/20 at 115 Ruggles Avenue be approved subject to the terms and conditions laid out in the city staff report.
Moved by Member Gandhi, seconded by Member Gossi. All in favor? I see 5 hands. It's approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Okay, Jamie, I will leave it in your hands to let us know when we can carry on with any other business.